What up, world, and welcome to another episode of Beer Talk Now. I'm your host, D. Neal, and on today's episode, I got a close friend of mine. I mean, we came up from the bottom. When I first got my L's, me and him went to a Vietnamese pho restaurant, you know what I mean? Got class, you know what I'm saying, in the Elko. It's the one and only, I mean, Top Chef himself, Mr. Vietnam himself. Like, we got to put it out there and really rep Tu Phu, man. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. What's good, Daryl? It's been years, man. It's an
Man,
amazing thing to reconnect, man. So thank you so much for having me on.
it's beautiful, man. Beautiful. I'm glad that we could do this, man. I know you're busy. You're making moves it seems like every day. You're doing dinners now online, like everyone else is doing online. But this is great. You got wineries pairing your Vietnamese cuisine. Like, let's really get it started, man. Oakland, California, and Tu Phu. Like, when did it all begin, man? Like when your parents moved. I remember you did a magazine article where it really talked about your parents' upbringing. But man, just hanging out with you and going to your parents' house at the time, I just didn't know your mom was so heavy into the Vietnamese cuisine like that, and really teaching you just the authenticity of your culture through food. So like, just you and Oakland, just in general, man, like, can you just give the audience just a background of Tu Phu and how it started in Oakland, California?
Absolutely. Oakland native. Daryl and I went to high school together, and we had a blast together. Good.
We did, man.
A lot of good. So, like Daryl kind of attests to, like a lot of humble beginnings, and I was straight out of high school, went to culinary school, and had some professional training, but it was the matriarch in my life, or the matriarchs in my life, that kind of brought me to where I am today. So 2017, I was San Francisco Chronicle Rising Star Chef. And then shortly thereafter, I was on Top Chef season 15. And that was all my move towards, cooking my mama's food. So cooking mama's food got me to where I'm at today. So, big shout out to mama, and
Shout out mama.
All the other mothers out there. But yeah, I'm super ecstatic to be on. Thank you for putting me on, Daryl. Whatever we want to talk about, we could definitely dive into it.
Well, we are, man. We are. I mean, now Tu Phu's not a drinker, and I understand he's trying to stay lean and mean, and he's trying to focus. He's got a vision, and he's gonna make it happen. But I definitely had to go. Like I told Tu Phu, is that I was gonna go to an Oakland brewery. So shout out to Federation Brewing Company. They're actually doing a collaboration with Hella Coastal Brewing Company, a black-owned brewery. They're going homebrew to create a brewery. So shout out to Chaz and Mario. The two brews that I got is Wrath of Flan. This is this is a stout. I don't know the ABV, which is the alcohol by volume, because they didn't write it down, nor did I see it on the website. I just saw it was a play on the Wrath of Khans, and I'm a Star Trek fan, so I had to get that one. And then the other one that I got was the red shirt. This was also a play on Star Trek, at least on the photo for the Federation's website. And this is a red rye ale. So I'm excited to have that and really just again show love to Oakland. But I mean, Tu Phu, man, like when did you take what you're doing into account as far as like, this is what I want to make a career? Because I know I got to see the Tu Phu and the stages of like really getting into the aspect of finding himself in this cuisine world that we're in. So what really pivoted you to say, this is what I'm going to do for my life?
Absolutely. And I appreciate that question, Daryl. But I think when you knew me as a young man, I think a late teen, as you would say, I think, just to be very open about it, and I've been very public about it as well, that I was a very angry kid. I think we connected absolutely in school on an academic level, where we were all in the honors classes, English, history, physics, all that stuff. We were taking college classes in high school.
AP, man, tell them AP was AP chemistry, man. In the back of the class, turf dancing. But anyway, go ahead.
That wouldn't happen in any other high school.
Not at all, man. Not at all. Shout out, Mr. Feeney, man, shout him out. He
Mr.
gave us
Shout out Mr.
A's.
Feeney. He's the principal now. I went back to visit like a few months ago. So shout out to him.
That's what's up, man. I got to go stop by and know he's principal, man. We was beatboxing and spitting verses and turf dancing in the back during breaks. So, man. But go ahead, man. My bad cutting you off. But yeah, let's talk about this.
It's all good. I think that if anything, given the reputation of our school, both for the good and the bad, I think that those were our saving graces in a sense where it helped accelerate us out of our neighborhoods, out of our community, to be leaders, to be men, if you will, to be accomplished individuals, responsible individuals. Daryl, you and I both in our family, in our community of friends, both in high school and out, a lot of people didn't make it out. So I think, for you went to college. For me, my equal was going to culinary school, was finding a discipline, finding a focus to give all of my energy and efforts to where it would help contribute me to be more positive and contributing to society in a positive manner. In my high school years, I was absolutely angry. I don't think you knew this at the time. Maybe it was scratched the surface, but both of my parents suffered from PTSD. They were very quiet for most of my childhood. I didn't know who I was or what I belonged to, and I think not knowing my history and who I am made me very angry with myself. And I remember you telling me, Daryl, stories of your father and your mother and your grandpa and you being from Germany or being born in Germany, the complexities of your identity and your community and your culture and how you grew up in 32nd Street Magnolia.
That's right, man. Dogtown, West Oakland, baby, got to rep it. But go ahead.
I felt there was a huge disconnect, and I've always found myself in awe of you as the amazing man that you were and am now today, because of those things. You got that from your family and your parents. I didn't get that at all. I had to, it was food that gave me an understanding of human compassion and all those other things that other kids got. And it wasn't until I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, I came back full circle. I learned, cooking. I learned very European cooking, like Italian, French, and all that stuff. And it came full circle back to, I know all this stuff. I don't know anything about myself or the food that my mom cooked. So it was that curiosity, that genuine curiosity, that brought it back to my mom. And I started to ask her recipes and food, just wanting to learn more about food. But those stories were those recipes were a safe space for her to kind of tell her story, our family story, my dad's story about how they got here. And, I think while we were growing up, Daryl, I don't think I've ever told you, or I didn't know of how my parents got here. It was very like, oh, they're from Vietnam. That's it. Like there's no depth to it, and I think it was our prematurity, if you will, that contributed to that as well. It was just an inability to understand, because of our youth. And I think it's one of those things for me that was coincidental, but at the same time beautiful. And, to kind of attest to the pride and proudness that I have of my accomplishments today, I would say that would be the biggest accomplishment, is learning more about my parents.